We always look good. All right. Ready or not, here we go. EEZEE Podcast Studio here in Palm Beach. Entertaining my boy Cruz. Some chat about real estate and about life.
Yeah.
What do you think about the studio, brother?
It looks great. It looks great. I mean, this is the second time I'm in here, so thank you very much for inviting me again.
Of course.
So we could just chit-chat a little bit about things.
Exactly.
In
You
real
know
estate.
what? I feel at home. It's not every day that I sit in front of a camera. Well, lately I do, but you know, it's a brand new world out there.
Yeah, so nowadays you see like a lot of things that you were not used to.
Yes.
Like, you know, I'm an old-fashioned already, so I need to adapt to all those things. But it's kind of easy for me because I do my own stuff as well, my videos and my photos and everything. So I kind of understand everything, all this stuff in here.
That's
so.
right. Actually, I want to tell you, I've seen some of the aerial shots of the drone. You're such a navigator, a great pilot of drones.
Man, I had to take, I had to take some tutorials how to fly because the first time I bought the drone, it was a used one, kind of cheap, but I was afraid I was gonna lose it, and then if I lose it in the middle of my own training, so I'm gonna end up like with my empty hands. So it was like kind of like shaking, flying that thing. But now I'm kind of confident, and I actually bought a brand new one.
Wow.
Very expensive, by the way.
Really? They are expensive.
The thing is that everything is expensive because everything is coming from outside. So you pay for the price.
Technical difficulties sometimes. It is what it is. Actually, it never happened before. I don't know.
Done? Working on?
I hope so, but I have to do the intro again.
All right. Let's do that. Let's play a little bit.
All right. Well, we're here jamming among friends. EEZEE Podcast Studio, Palm Beach, Aruba. The BCA show, Business Club Aruba. Entertaining my boy Cruz, real estate galore. You know what? You're more than a real estate agent for me. I'm a broker. You're a friend, man. I want to tell you, me and you have passed together.
Yeah.
And since I got to the island, even before I got to the island.
Before that, we had a lot of chit chat on the phone.
Right.
Remember that?
Right. And I saw something in you that I haven't seen in 2 years that I'm here. I haven't seen. So yeah, kudos on you for a great work that you do.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, and thank you very much for inviting me once again here on the studio. I'm always glad to share some chit chat with you.
Yes, share some knowledge.
Yeah.
About real estate. About life.
That's good.
What do you think about the studio, man?
The studio is great. It's something that this is actually the second time I come to the studio because most of the time I do my own things at home, my videos and my pictures and everything. But this is great. Alone, I'm always alone doing the thing. But this is great just to come and share, knowledge with.
You do your
someone.
thing with the drones, and I've seen some of the aerial shots. They are amazing.
Yeah,
You're such a drone operator.
Yeah, I had to become a pilot. I didn't even know how to do that. I never had a drone in my hands anyway, so I just bought an old one, secondhand, just to learn how to fly them, and then learning also how to take the best shots out of it. Because if you buy kind of a tool, you need to get most out of it, or at least just make a good use of it. Because it's not only flying; it's also the color of the picture and everything. So I might not be a professional in there, but I kind of tend to push towards that because I need that the people that is seeing that is not only seeing the scene, but only seeing the good job on the editing and everything. So
I think you're fishing for compliments because I've seen the shots, man, and I know people approach you and tell you, Cruz, do me a favor, come shoot it for me.
I have done that, and then they say, how much do you charge for that? I don't even know how much should I charge because I have never done that for people. I mean, on the business grade. But I do have some real estate agents that say, Cruz, please.
Yes, of course.
Just do the thing.
You know what?
It's kind of like a corporation.
It's such a tool. Especially on the island, you want to do above shots. You want to show your clients most visuals or angles. In flying a drone, man, it could be a vertical in your company. Drone aerial shots.
Yeah. And actually, sometimes I just find some guys that they kind of like an entrepreneur that they just want to start a business, like doing filming and that kind of things. So then they approached me, hey, I know you are real estate. What about if I do your shit? I'm sorry, I do my own things.
Wow, yeah.
But then I showed them that what I do. And I said, wow, man.
You know what? Let's open up the cards for a second, because being a real estate, it's hard work, man.
It is.
Like, it's a long process. I know, because we started the conversation with me buying a plot of land on the island from you.
2 years ago, right?
Yes,
3 years, something like
ago, a big chunk of land in Montpass, I guess, Santa Cruz.
Montpass, we still have that project done, so we
Yes,
shouldn't.
and you know what my intention, and was going into Eco Village and building something over there that is sustainable and green, and I thought it would be amazing opportunity. And I dragged you and I took you to the whole process. Eventually, the cactuses broke me, man. There's too much cactus.
No, you know what? That is actually still is a good idea. I hope you're not gonna.
Of course.
You're not gonna broadcast this podcast, because then you're gonna be selling that idea.
That's okay. We're sharing the idea. We're just putting it out there.
Yeah, but I still have that, because by the time we had contact, I already had that idea. You remember that I told you? Already had that idea.
Yeah, it was written on the description of the plot of land. And when I was sitting in Miami,
Yeah.
I was reading about that plot of land. And I was seeing, and you wrote, Eco Village would be great over there.
You know what? That
guy.
that land is still available. Really.
Okay, we are not here to promote any land.
No, no, I don't want to promote it. What I would like to do is just get a little bit more savings and maybe buy that piece of land.
You know what? We might do something eventually in the future together, because this is still my plan. You know, I had a feeling that we talked about it, Costa Rica and Pachamama and all these eco villages that are great, sprouting around the world, and they're great for community feeling, they're great for sustainability, they're great for even tourists to come and see. And that could have been a great thing, but I guess not now. Prices of real estate go up, and everybody...
Like a lot.
Yeah,
like a lot,
is,
man.
I see, I feel it, but it's a hard work.
It is. Well, being a real estate agent is not only like just... Most of the people think that it's just like walking around, showing houses. No, man. No,
You want to take us through a typical day of a real estate?
Yeah, you know what? It's not only showing the houses, it's also the little bit knowledge that you should have on the property, on the law, on the compliance from the buyer, from the seller as well.
Of course.
And also doing some pre-screening, not only on both of them, but also on the property that you're gonna be offering as well, because in a certain way you're responsible for what you're selling as well.
Exactly, under your license, reputation, everything.
Yeah.
Hours on end before a meeting, hours on end after a meeting.
Yeah.
Weekend, nights.
You know
How do
what?
you
That's
do
kind of
it?
hard,
How
because
do you
sometimes
do
I had critics at home as well. Like, when are you gonna start from there? Like,
And I see your sign all over the city, the area. I love it. Every time I drive around, I see your picture on a sign, I'm like smiling, because you know what? Some people are really deserve it. There's some hard to work with real estate agent on the island. With you, I recommend with my whole heart.
Thank you, man.
But let's jump into some interesting facts, because we want to make this podcast a little bit interesting. Let me ask you something. Putting my glasses, because I don't know if you're going to...
Let me see if I can use mine as well.
put it up. Maybe with the subject that we want to talk about a little
Let me
bit.
see.
I don't know if you should do it. All right.
Now we are connected. Go ahead, shoot me, man.
All right, let me ask you something. Brother, I've seen some beautiful houses on the island.
Yeah.
I've seen big houses, you know, on Melmoc area, overlooking the ocean, probably in Savaneta, probably on the mountains.
Yeah.
What is the most, maybe Tierra del Sol, what is the most expensive house you ever came across on the island? Just curious. In the range of...
Although it depends on the area on the island, I have seen some very nice houses that could be Malmoc area.
Yeah.
You do have some houses that are not nice, but still are in a good area. And some houses, we haven't even had the chance just to look them inside because they are not for sale.
Right.
But sometimes, like, because they are doing Airbnb and the kind of things, you see some marketing online and say, where is that house, man? It looks great.
How much the price range? The 10 mil?
Ooh, I have seen houses like 10 million in here.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. They are not easy to sell, but it's
in the last year, what is the lowest amount of a house you ever got? Like
Well, you know, it could be probably a fixer-upper or something like that.
100K?
No, not that.
There's no more.
No, no more, unfortunately.
There's no more.
Now, listen, nowadays,
If
if you
anybody
find...
listen to this podcast and try to look for
Yeah, for the best tips, how to buy it.
freebies.
Yeah, how to buy a cheap house. But there is nothing cheap right now.
Okay.
Listen, if you buy most of the house, let's start with this. Most of the people that want to have a house, they don't even have the money to afford it because they
Wow.
have to go to the bank,
Mortgage,
right? Yeah, mortgage. But then the thing is that the banks are not going to be lending money for a fixer-upper because
You
they
have to
need,
put money
yeah,
in.
they need to know where they put in their money because at the end of the day, the bank, the house belongs to the bank, not to the
Fixer-upper
person.
game is only for the richies, man.
No, but no, it's not for the riches. It's for that person who's mentally prepared for what you're doing. Like in reality, like do your savings, man. Stop just wasting your money.
Yeah.
Make a sacrifice for probably 1 or 2 years, and then you get a good amount just to go to the bank and say, the bank, you know what? I have this down payment, and this is my age, and these are my debts, and you know, how can you help me?
Let's do a show about working with banks later on and compliance, which I've been through compliance and I was approved, but the process is so
Yeah.
tedious. The paperwork that you have to submit and everything. So
Yeah.
you know, I like this. I like that the island is really aligned with buyers and they want to do KYO, know your client, KYC. So that's amazing.
Mhm.
But isn't that process too much for you guys or the seller selling a house? It's months on end?
Yeah, well, you know what? Most of the time is it gets the buyers a little bit uncomfortable because they are not used to that.
Yes.
But let me tell you the why. If you're gonna buy a property, you're gonna put your money in an area, or I mean, like in a country. Where would you like to put your money? In a place that is showing you that they have rules and your money is safe in there in
Right.
your investment,
Yep.
or you want to put your money in any other place where even the drug dealers or the money laundry is taking place.
Just send us the money. Don't worry about anything.
Yeah, I mean, I have heard that some other countries they even bring the money to the real estate and they have machines just to count the money. So I have seen that over here, and that is why people prefer to invest in here, although it's a little bit tedious. But at the end of the day, it's safety for the buyer, for the seller, and for the island, and for the future investors in here because they know they are going to put in the money in a place with responsibility. And that is something that we have to advise the buyer as well, because some of them get offended because you ask too much questions, too many questions. But at the end of the day, it's not my problem where you got the money, but it is the central bank
Right.
a problem where that money is coming from.
That's right. We're pro that process. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. What is the most unique house you've seen on the island?
Well, I have seen houses with. I do tend to like the houses that are more like island vibe. Thing.
Yeah, the traditionals.
The traditional, but with some touches of
How do you call
modern
those
things.
no cool houses? No.
I do like them, but you know what? What is nice when you see a house with probably an infinity pool,
Yeah.
and because that gives that feeling not only that you're on an island, but also you're in a modern world combined with the typical thing that you want to find on the island. When it's too modernized, it's just like staying in a big country or something like that. You can't really come to the island because you want to feel something from the island, right? And well, not everybody thinks like that.
Yeah.
Some people prefer to be in a luxury thing. That's good if they can pay for that. But also, if you go to kind of like a tropic like this, enjoy the people. You know, blend with the people. Just know the culture, know the food, the way of living, that kind of thing. So that is why I believe those projects that are taking place in downtown.
Yeah.
Downtown really not only needs it but deserves it.
Do you think downtown is going to change? Well,
Well-
they're working on a few things over there.
Yeah, they are doing some great things over there. It's not going to change overnight, of course, but it took some time just to ruin downtown as well.
Yeah.
But it's going to take time just to bring it back. And not only downtown. I mean, the island is not that big at the end of the day.
Right.
So they could spread, all the beauty of the island among all the people that come to the island to enjoy certain places on the island as well.
You've been on the island for a long time. You know, you've seen the transition.
Listen, I came here when I was blonde and blue eyes. Look at me, the sun.
Let me see.
now.
Take a look. Let me see.
Well, eyes are still blue, but they are navy blue now.
30? 30? No.
I've been here for 32 years, maybe 33.
Wow. Not always in real estate though, but you
No,
see
no.
the real estate market change throughout the years.
A lot,
Oh my
a
God.
lot, especially these last
Can
years.
we turn the clock backwards and just jump on a few opportunities like 15 years ago?
I would love to do that. You know what? I was just like when
Oh
this
my God.
COVID hit. A lot of people, of course, they were having tough times, so they had to sell their properties. But there were some very good opportunities just to get a
Wow.
property. The thing is that the ones that had the money, some of them took advantage. Some of them had the money, but they were afraid of that something might happen. And unfortunately, the world is cruel. I mean, I am gonna buy your property on your disgrace,
Yes.
but
And
it is
and
like
then
that.
in 2 years, you not only cry that you sold it for that amount, you cry because the price just shot up.
Yeah, but that is because you were not prepared financially for that situation, because that kind of situation only comes when you see a picture, when you see a film. But then all of a sudden you have a virus that is knocking at your door and say, "Wow, I thought it was only movies." No,
You know
listen,
what? This movie came true,
and nobody was prepared for that.
and nobody was prepared.
No, but
But
the thing is
every-
that, but you know, things happen for you to learn.
Yeah.
Now that you have seen that something like that might happen again, one of my advices to the people that is going to invest in real estate is try not to get the mortgage like really thick.
Yeah.
Because if something happened,
Yeah.
you are not going to be able to pay the bank.
Right.
So use part of your
Refinance
savings as
or
well.
do any work.
You know, just try to lower it. If something happens, at least you can afford something, not to lose your property. I sold properties when the COVID came, really cheap by the north area, because they couldn't afford it. I mean, they were very close to lose the house with the bank. It is because people think that because I have a job, I can afford it. But you know, you're here today. You don't know if when I'm crossing the street, something's gonna happen to me, not only physically but also financially, because I cannot work anymore.
Right. You put yourself in harm's way,
No.
and you don't want to take that liability.
No. Just be safe, man. I mean, like, if even if you're alone or you have family, especially if you have family.
Who's mostly the buyers? Are they foreigners, or do the island people buy houses?
It all depends on the range of houses. Like, for example, these houses in North, they are not
They're
for
not for
local.
locals?
Nah, they are not for locals.
They're already for investors, but people do buy them and just turn them into Airbnbs, or you know.
But that is a trend right now. They
It's
just
a
buy
trend.
things. Yes, this is kind of like a fever, and that is why, in my honest opinion, because I have seen that, is that every time you're gonna buy a house, everything is very expensive, but not because things are really expensive, like material and kind of things, which are, but that's not the main reason. For my point of view, is because every time you're gonna buy a house, the first thing that they say is that, you know what, I sell it for this amount, but this is kind of high.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could make it an Airbnb. So everybody's just dreaming about the Airbnb. It doesn't matter if
That
it's
has to be a selling point.
no, yeah, but the selling point is not. Airbnb is for people that want to buy a property. For that people that want to use that property, and most of them they just want to be close to the beach and close to the commercial area and the kind of things.
Right.
But when you have a property like really deep into the island, and they still say that, oh, you know what, you can make it an Airbnb, you are competing. I mean,
You know, I had a feeling a year ago that we should start exploring Savaneta and then San Nicolas. I even hear San Nicolas is having a trend going over there. Or,
San Nicolas is getting expensive as well. And the funny part is that every time I had a house and then they say like, no, I'm looking for a house for this price range. Well, that price range here is not available right now. I mean, you might be lucky to find something like that. But I could offer you something like that, but in San Nicolas, nah, San Nicolas is too far. Now, people is calling me, hey, I'm looking for a property. It doesn't matter if it's in San Nicolas.
Wow.
Now you're
Wow.
starting to realize that
You
San
know what?
Nicolas
I
is-
have a feeling they know there's a big investment coming into that area.
It is. It is. But houses over there are getting a little bit expensive as
Yeah.
well.
There's going to be a big push, I guess. over
I mean,
there.
and I hope so, because I mean, from the business point of view for San Nicolas as well, because they do really need a development over there, not only for them but for the whole island, just to spread the whole. Like when you're making a cake, just spread it even for the whole island.
Right.
I mean,
But you know, that was always, you know, I love those old days stories when the refinery, I guess, was on, and the center of town was like there, and everybody lived there, and it's
I
kind
used to live over there when I came to the island.
wow.
And
So
it
that was
really-
the main hub.
It was crowded over
Nobody
there.
came here to Melbourne. That was like the
No.
other side of the island.
No.
We don't go there.
No, this part over here was kind of lonely,
Wow.
and well, you had some nice houses anyway. But over there, because I was living over there, most of my time I was spending over there, and by that time I remember I was working here at the Marriott.
Yeah.
It was Plantation and V. Man, I'm getting old.
Yeah. Wow.
I came here, started in construction, and by that time I didn't like the construction, but then I started to like it, and all of a sudden I started to do all my own things at home, and now I do everything at home.
Cool.
And now I know a little bit about construction, and that actually helps me in this real estate, because every time I'm gonna see a house, I could say like,
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
buy this for myself,
Yeah.
and sometimes I do.
Do your own flip.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
because
is what-
I know what I'm buying.
This is something we talked about. You know, construction is very close to my heart. I was doing that
I
for
know.
a very long time.
I know.
Renovated a few properties, developed a few. So
Uh-huh.
really, I wasn't into going into this business on the island. But yeah, I see opportunities.
No, there are. There are.
If you have some free cash, you can always jump, fix
Mhm.
a few, build a portfolio of buy and holds, or just resell them. But there are some. I think it's gonna be like that for the next 5 years, and then it's gonna kind of settle in.
Yeah. Well, you know, now that you see the potential and you have the skills and you have the know-how, as the last time we were talking, shoemaker to their shoes.
Yes.
Just don't reinvent the wheel. I mean, just you have certain skills, develop those skills, and besides that, those skills are something valuable as well, because not everybody knows about construction, and that is something that when I'm showing probably a fixer-upper to someone who would like to buy a fixer-upper, but they don't know anything about construction, the first thing that come and say, "Nah, it's ugly." It's because
Yeah,
their eyes are trained to see the ugly of the house, but not the potential.
I love it.
But when I come and see something like even smells bad, but I see the potential, I don't care if it smells bad. I mean, I have some soap and water, just do it, do a clean up.
I always in my head, I always see the end result, because I've seen so many
Mhm.
transformation of houses. I think in my peak, I've done like 20 houses in like 3 months. I've seen the before and after.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like in the movies. But yeah, it's all about timing. It's all about if you have passion for it, if you want to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right now, I'm podcasting. I don't want to do construction, but
You're going to.
anybody that wants to buy a house or get some guidance on construction and has a partnership in mind, you can always reach out to us. I love it.
Yeah, but you know what? I like it. I like it.
I have to-
Because at the end of the day, it's not
Yeah.
that hard. I mean, you just come and see the place and reimagine what are you going to be doing over there. Of course, you have to do the calculations, how much money you're going to put into that, what kind of materials you're going to be using as well, who are you going to be hiring just to do the job as well. And I do believe that that's the hard part, because not everybody is willing to just do a good job. So that is why you have to be there, just
Exactly.
take a look at what you're doing.
Let me ask you one of the last questions for the day. If you weren't a broker, real estate agent, what do you think you would be here on the island?
Listen, probably I don't have the answer for that one, but I could tell you this. I spent most of my stay here on the island working on an F&B for restaurants and for hotels and everything, and I thought that I would end up like owning a restaurant or something like that. And now that I'm on the real estate thing, I love it so much that not only I go into the real estate as a real estate, but also the things that you need for real estate. I do believe that a real estate agent has to be a complete agent, not only on properties, on selling, on investing, but also on marketing, on pictures, on videos, and that kind of things, because at the end of the day, if you learn how to do that, that doesn't mean you're going to stay over there doing the whole thing, because you're going to get born in there. I mean, you're like a one-man show, but at least you know how to do things. So once you hire someone, you can direct that person that's the way you want it to be done, because you already know what you want.
Yep.
And you've been there already.
Yep.
Right? It's like when you know construction, but you don't want to touch any tools.
Delegate.
Yeah, you just say,
delegate
okay,
the authority to other people.
That's the thing. You just do it like that. And I have had some people, because I know some construction. I had a guy just doing tiles.
But
And
you have passion for it, and you're
for
doing
both.
fine. And I track your clothes. Another house closed a few days ago. I want to tell you, I think if you weren't doing real estate, you might do something on the water.
Well, you know what?
Maybe a captain of a boat.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes I think like, why did you stay on the hotel for such a long time? I should have done this. And you know what? I had a friend of mine that he took some lessons back in probably 2010. And he said, Cruz, I'm taking a real estate course and I'm doing this and doing that. And he was really excited. He actually approached me and said, you should do that because you're a good salesman. And that. I said, nah, I don't like it. Because I didn't know what was it like. And then a few years later, probably like 15 years later, I just started on it and I said, I should have listened to this guy 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's a good one, by the way.
Yeah.
He's a good one.
Hey, your network is strong and you have support, and you know, I still have a feeling we're gonna do some eco-villaging together someday.
Well, I'm planning to do that, and I hope you're gonna come with me.
Hey, this is by 2025, man. It just started.
But that's brand new, so let's take advantage of it.
Yes, the way I see it right now, I'm gonna pick up some speed and headway with the podcast. I'm gonna get some talents here to start doing their own, and then I think our network is just gonna grow, and then I'm gonna focus my gaze upon the eco part. And we'll see during the year.
And that involves the construction as well.
Yes.
Not that I'm pushing you, but I know you're good at construction. You just don't want to go over there.
I'm gonna do construction when you come and teach me how to drone, man. How to put.
That's easy. That's easy. Well, I just bought a drone like 3 days ago. I haven't even done the setup.
Okay.
No, that's very. It came out like very expensive. I mean, like I'm gonna fly that thing like a señorita.
Oh, the last one you lost.
I lost one.
Yeah.
I crashed the other one.
Oh wow.
I have one that flies indoors, 2 that flies indoors, and now I bought another one that are gonna be. These are good ones with nice settings inside, but I still have to learn how to make the best out of the settings that it has. It's just like you have a new iPhone, and the only thing you do is just send a WhatsApp, take pictures.
Yep.
There is a ton of things that you can do with it with an iPhone. So that's what I want to do with the
I
drone as well.
want to invite you for the next time. They're going to do a podcast about real estate. Dig deep into this business. Bring somebody from compliance so you can sit with me and we can kind of get questions and answers. Give a little bit more education and knowledge to anybody that wants to buy an Aruba, and then maybe we can get something about the new taxation, about Airbnb. Give some knowledge out.
Yeah.
And let's do it a recurring thing. Maybe once a week, me and you jump on online and
We could do that.
just drop some knowledge.
We could do that because I do believe that people deserves and need to be instructed on this.
Yes,
And I see that every day.
right. I appreciate you. I don't have a lot of real estate agents. Shout out to Naomi, but you and people like her and you are doing amazing jobs. So
Perfect.
stay on tune, man.
I'll be here, man, anytime.
you for
I'm
coming.
just one call away.
EEZEE Podcast Studio, Palm Beach, Aruba, wrapping up another day with Cruz Marquez. You want to say the company name or you
Oh, sure.
go?
You want to sell your house? Call Cyrus. Smart Invest Real Estate Services. Cruz Marquez. I'm going to be there for you guys.
Cyrus on social networks.
There you are.
Alrighty, see you later, guys.
Hey, take care.
That was pretty good. For first.